Today is not another date on the calendar. August 23 carries the memories of lives that changed cinema, sports, wrestling, music, television, and racing. Some became legends in their lifetimes. Others left behind work that continued speaking long after they were gone. Today, we remember the people whose final chapters were written on this date, from the unforgettable Rudolph Valentino to fearless Terry Funk, pioneering athletes, beloved performers, and influential media figures. Their stories remind us that fame fades, but impact can endure. So, let us pause, remember their journeys, honor their achievements, and say their names again today together. Rudolph Valentino, 1895-1926. Rudolph Valentino was born on May 6, 1895, and died on August 23, 1926. Born in Italy and later rising to fame in America, Valentino became one of the most recognizable stars of the silent film era. He was famously known as the Latin lover, and his screen presence helped redefine the image of the romantic leading man in early Hollywood. His breakthrough came with the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse in 1921, followed by the enormous success of the Sheik. He also starred in Blood and Sand and The Son of the Sheik, cementing his place among cinema's earliest international superstars. But Valentino's life ended shockingly young. At only 31, he became seriously ill after suffering from a perforated ulcer and complications that followed surgery. An infection developed, and he died in New York on August 23, 1926. His death created an extraordinary wave of public grief, with huge crowds gathering to mourn him. A century later, his name still survives in the history of cinema. Rudolph Valentino did not live long enough to see how far his influence would travel, but his image became immortal. May his memory continue to shine as a tribute to one of the earliest true movie stars. Terry Funk, 1944. 2023. Terry Funk was born on June 30, 1944, and died on August 23, 2023. He became one of professional wrestling's most respected and influential figures, building a career that stretched across more than 5 decades. Funk began wrestling professionally in 1965, and eventually became a major champion, including winning the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in 1975. His career took him across America and Japan, and he became especially influential in the development of hardcore wrestling. His famous rivalries with Ric Flair and Jerry Lawler helped define different eras of professional wrestling, while his friendship and mentorship of Mick Foley left an enormous mark on the next generation. Funk also stepped beyond wrestling, appearing in movies including Roadhouse and Over the Top, as well as numerous television productions. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009. Terry Funk died at the age of 79 in 2023. His passing marked the end of an extraordinary career belonging to a man known for toughness, fearlessness, humor, and an almost unmatched dedication to his craft. Terry Funk gave wrestling generations of memories and helped shape the sport forever. May his legacy live on every time a wrestling fan remembers the fearless Texas legend. Bobby Bonds, 1946. 2003. Bobby Bonds was born on March 15, 1946, and died on August 23, 2003. He became one of Major League Baseball's most exciting power and speed players, and eventually became part of one of baseball's most famous father-son legacies. Bonds played primarily as a right fielder and represented teams including the San Francisco Giants, New York Yankees, California Angels, Chicago White Sox, Texas Rangers, Cleveland Indians, St. Louis Cardinals, and Chicago Cubs. He was selected as an All-Star 3 times and won 3 Gold Glove awards. One of his greatest accomplishments was his combination of power and speed. Bonds became the first player to record 5 seasons with at least 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. He also became only the second player, after Willie Mays, to reach 300 career home runs and 300 stolen bases. And his legacy continued through his son, Barry Bonds, creating one of the most famous father-son stories in baseball history. Bobby Bonds died at 57 from complications related to lung cancer and a brain tumor. Bobby Bonds left behind more than statistics. He left behind a family legacy and a place in baseball history. May he always be remembered for the extraordinary speed, power, and passion he brought to the game. Hoyt Wilhelm, 1922. 2002, Hoyt Wilhelm was born on July 26, 1922, and died on August 23, 2002. Known as Old Sarge, Wilhelm became one of baseball's greatest pitchers and one of the most important relief pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball. His career lasted from 1952 to 1972, spanning an astonishing 21 seasons. Wilhelm became famous for his devastating knuckleball, a pitch that allowed him to remain effective even as he aged. He played for numerous teams, including the New York Giants, Cleveland Indians, Baltimore Orioles, Chicago White Sox, and Los Angeles Dodgers. His accomplishments were extraordinary. He was an 8-time All-Star, won a World Series with the New York Giants in 1954, and became the first relief pitcher elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. He received that honor in 1985, opening the door for future generations of relief pitchers. Wilhelm died of heart failure in Sarasota, Florida, at the age of 80. His career proved that patience, intelligence, and determination could overcome expectations about age and position. May Hoyt Wilhelm always be remembered as a pioneer whose remarkable knuckleball and unforgettable career changed the way baseball viewed relief pitchers. Didier Pironi, 1952, 1987. Didier Pironi was born on March 26, 1952, and died on August 23, 1987. He was a French racing driver whose Formula One career placed him among the most talented drivers of his generation. Pironi competed in Formula One for teams including Tyrrell, Ligier, and Ferrari. During his F1 career, he recorded 3 victories, 13 podium finishes, 4 pole positions, and 101 championship points. His strongest season came in 1982, when he was driving for Ferrari and appeared to be a serious championship contender. Then tragedy struck. After his Formula One career was cut short by a serious crash, Pironi turned to offshore powerboat racing. On August 23, 1987, while competing in a powerboat race off the English coast near the Isle of Wight, he was involved in a fatal accident. He was only 35 years old. His story remains one of extraordinary talent interrupted by heartbreaking tragedy. May Didier Pironi be remembered not only for the accident that ended his life, but for the courage, speed, ambition, and remarkable talent that defined his years behind the wheel. Kathleen Freeman, 1919. 2001. Kathleen Freeman was born on February 17, 1919, and died on August 23, 2001. She was an American actress and voice artist whose career lasted for more than 5 decades. Freeman became famous for her unforgettable character performances. She appeared in numerous films and television programs, and became particularly well known for her work alongside Jerry Lewis, appearing in 12 of his comedies. She was also remembered by audiences for the Blues Brothers, as well as countless television appearances. Her strength was not necessarily playing the glamorous leading lady. Instead, Freeman became a master of character acting, bringing humor, personality, and unforgettable energy to supporting roles. She was the kind of performer audiences might recognize instantly even when they did not immediately remember her name. Near the end of her life, Freeman was working in the Broadway production of The Full Monty. She died at age 82 at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York after battling lung cancer. Kathleen Freeman proved that a performer does not need to be the star of every scene to become unforgettable. May her remarkable career and the laughter she gave audiences remain her lasting tribute. Maynard Ferguson, 1928. 2006. Maynard Ferguson was born on May 4, 1928, and died on August 23, 2006. He was a Canadian jazz trumpeter and bandleader, whose extraordinary musical abilities made him one of the most recognizable high-register trumpet players in jazz. Ferguson first gained major attention as a member of Stan Kenton's orchestra, before forming his own big band in 1957. He became known for his astonishing ability to play extremely high notes, his energetic performances, and his versatility across jazz, jazz rock, fusion, and popular music. His bands also became important training grounds for younger musicians, helping introduce talented performers to larger audiences. Ferguson's career stretched across decades, and his trumpet could be heard in numerous film and recording projects. He remained active almost until the end of his life. Ferguson died at the age of 78 in Ventura, California, from kidney and liver failure following an abdominal infection. His music was powerful, bright, daring, and unmistakably his own. Maynard Ferguson left behind a musical legacy that continues to inspire trumpet players and jazz lovers around the world. May his music never stop playing. Jean-Luc Delarue, 1964. 2012. Jean-Luc Delarue was born on June 24, 1964, and died on August 23, 2012. He became one of France's best-known television presenters and producers, particularly through programs built around personal stories and discussion. Delarue began working in television in the 1980s and eventually became a major figure in French broadcasting. Through programs such as C'est Discute, he created a format where ordinary people could discuss deeply personal experiences in front of a national audience. His work helped make discussion-based television an important part of French popular culture. He also founded and led the production company Reservoir Prod, which became an important part of his professional legacy. In December 2011, Delarue publicly announced that he was suffering from stomach cancer. His illness progressed, and he died on August 23, 2012, at only 48 years old, after battling cancer of the stomach and peritoneum. His life was far too short, but his influence on French television was significant. May Jean-Luc Delarue be remembered for the conversations he created, the stories he brought into people's homes, and the lasting mark he left on French television. August 23 reminds us that behind every famous name was a real human being, someone who dreamed, struggled, succeeded, loved, failed, created, competed, entertained, and eventually left this world. Rudolph Valentino changed the language of early cinema. Terry Funk changed professional wrestling. Bobby Bonds and Hoyt Wilhelm helped shape baseball history. Didier Pironi carried speed and ambition onto the world's greatest racing circuits. Kathleen Freeman brought laughter to generations of movie and television audiences. Maynard Ferguson pushed the boundaries of jazz, and Jean-Luc Delarue gave people a platform to tell stories that might otherwise have remained unheard. Their lives were different, but their legacies share one thing: they left something behind. Years pass, Generations change. Faces disappear from the headlines. But the work these people created continues to remind us that a human life can be brief while its influence can last for decades, or even centuries. Today, on August 23rd, we remember them. May they all rest in peace, and may their names never be forgotten.